Hey everybody, it's Jason Mudd with Cindy Rainey and team. And I am actually really excited to be here today. I'm excited to talk to you about the world of real estate. I'm also delighted that we've created a new series called Real Estate Matters. I think it's really important in our role as advisors that we're constantly educating our clients. We're giving them great advice. We're helping them connect dots. We're allowing them to make smart real estate choices. And why do I think that's so important? Well, if you think about it, for the vast majority of people, the decision to buy or sell a home tends to be the greatest single transaction they will make in their lifetime. So you have to have an advisor in your camp who is giving you great advice. So that's the backdrop. I think we're going to try to present things to you in a way that might be a little bit unique. You might have, it might be a little bit of a challenge to conventional wisdom. Real estate's been done the same way for a long period of time. It isn't to say that it's broken, but I think it's always good to challenge the status quo and to ask questions. And my hope when we deal with our clients is we're always trying to look at ways to improve the experience for people. And part of that is really making sure that we're understanding the market dynamics better. And so I think if we can give you a fresh perspective on real estate, we've done our job. I'm really excited to kick off this series of Real Estate Matters. And today I want to talk to you about the role of data and the role it plays in helping people make decisions around real estate, and specifically how we at Cindy Rainey and team sort of leverage data to give advice. And I know for many of you, you hear the word data and immediately the screen turns fuzzy and you say to yourself, that's not going to be all that exciting. If you can bear with me for a minute, what I would ask of you is to not think of data as a set of numbers. I want you to think of it more as pieces of information. And what we're going to talk about is how do we take these pieces of information, how do we take this data, and how do we put it in a way that helps you make a really smart decision. So I'm going to ask a question, and I think many of you have felt this way. So I think, and I hope the question resonates with you. And that question is, why for so many people, when buying or selling a home, does the feeling overwhelm you? Why is the process? Why does that process feel so overwhelming to people? And I think there are a lot of reasons, but if I were to sort of boil them down to a couple, I think first of all, the decision is rarely as easy as people expect it to be. There are a lot of factors that go into making the decision. That's one. Two, it's a deeply emotional decision, right? We're talking about a high stakes decision here. So it's deeply emotional, it's high stakes, a lot of factors going into it. That's sort of as a backdrop feels very overwhelming to people. And so when clients come to us, when they come to Cindy Rainey and team and they say, Jason, team, how can you help us solve this problem? How do you help us not feel so overwhelmed? And my answer, while it may sound simplified, my answer is clarity. Clarity is the solution. And I don't mean clarity by intuition, by guesswork, by saying we have decades of experience. I mean literally clarity through data. And so I think as advisors, when we talk about data, it's really important to get a couple things right. The first is you have to understand the importance of data. That's step one, but that's not enough. What's more important than understanding the importance of data is understanding its relevance to your client. Right? Because if you can explain the relevance of the data to your client, it helps them form a picture. And when they're able to form a picture, that forms clarity. And when there's clarity, they're able to make smarter and more strategic decisions. And I think at Cindy Rainey team, we work really hard at helping frame that picture for our clients. And I think that's why they value our advice so much. Okay, so let me try and illustrate the point I'm trying to make around how we talk about data with our clients because the term, again, for many people, it's off-putting. I'm going to ask you to think of the Fairfield County real estate market like a giant jigsaw puzzle. And I want you to think of the pieces of the puzzle like this. The puzzle pieces include things like low inventory, shifting buyer trends, high buyer demand, for example, or interest rate movement, right? So these are the pieces that make up this Fairfield County luxury real estate market puzzle. And unlike a typical puzzle where sort of the pieces are static and you're in control, right? You're putting the puzzle together. In the Fairfield County luxury real estate market, the pieces of the puzzle that we just discussed, low inventory, buyer demand, interest rate movements, those are not static, right? Those are constantly in flux, which means that you are not in control, right? So as advisors, it's supremely important that we put these moving pieces into place for our clients. We've got to put the pieces together, right? And I think this is where it gets really critical. I think what I have seen from my experience is I hear a lot of people, a lot of advisors telling clients at a very macro level, sort of what the trends are in the market, right? There's low supply. If you put your house on the market, it's going to sell quickly. But quite frankly, that really is not enough from where I sit. From where I sit as an advisor, you have to think about how these factors actually operate. They do not operate in a vacuum, right? They are not independent of one another. So if I don't explain to you how these puzzle pieces fit together, if I don't explain to clients what this means and how it's relevant to them, all I've done is I've taken that jigsaw puzzle, I've dropped it on the table, the pieces have spread all throughout the table, and they're all jumbled. And that's what ends up happening when people make a real estate decision. They're looking at this table filled with puzzle pieces that haven't been assembled for them. And so that's the lack of clarity that we're talking about. That's why they feel so overwhelmed. So I truly believe that one of the ways that we as advisors, especially at Cindy Rainey and team, and one of the things that makes a great real estate advisor is helping people make sense of the data, right? We help put the pieces of the puzzle together. And in doing so, it helps frame that picture, right? It puts the puzzle together so that it makes sense to clients. And it allows our clients then to make decisions that are far more intelligent and far more strategic in nature. And so I think you've got to make sure that you're getting advice from somebody where they're helping connect these dots. They're putting the pieces in place for you. That is, again, the data is so critical, because otherwise you're making information based on emotion and you're not really assembling the pieces that are going to allow you to make a smart choice. So I've talked to you about this analogy with the puzzle, and hopefully that made sense to you. But I think what will really stick in your mind now is if I give you a real life example, and I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to talk to you about a client of ours who we helped use data to educate them, and that allowed them to make a decision that ultimately turned out very favorably for them. A homeowner came to us mid-year and said, look, I'm thinking about listing my home, probably not going to list it until 2025. And we said, that's terrific. We'll start the planning process for that now. And we started talking about it. And as the year progressed, they went on vacation. We continued to stay in touch. They came to us actually in the fourth quarter and said, look, we really think we want to put this on now right away in the spring. We're really motivated to sell in the spring. And we took a quick moment to say, look, give us a second to look at where the market is right now. And again, we're talking about the fourth quarter of 2024. And when we saw the data, is we actually came to a different conclusion. It's a conclusion that I would tell you that before I looked at the data, I did not think we would come to. And that decision was we actually told them that we thought it made sense for them to list in December. And I know what a lot of you are thinking. You're thinking, that's crazy. That's a terrible time of year. Well, that's kind of what our clients thought. They thought they were really concerned that it was the wrong time of year to list, right? Their feeling was it's the holidays, you're going to have fewer buyers, it's cold outside. And like from a pure logic standpoint, that type of thinking is not flawed. But this is where the beauty of data and the beauty of understanding the data and making sure that you can make it relevant to your client comes into play. And that's our primary job as advisors. So what we showed them is that in their neighborhood, and I'm talking about literally their neighborhood, I'm not talking about the town, I'm talking about their neighborhood, inventory was off 82% from where it was at the same time 1 year ago. More importantly, it was off 68% from any point in 2024. So 68% less inventory at this specific time than at any point in 2024. And we're already talking about obviously very low inventory. The second component that was really important was we had experience selling similar styled homes so that we knew that even if there were fewer buyers in the market, we knew the type of home that our client had was resonating with buyers. So we presented the facts to them. We presented that data to them. We thought their property would stand out. We thought that even though there were fewer buyers, we thought that they would be very motivated, particularly from the style of house that our clients had. And so our clients, they listened to us and they said, look, you've helped assemble these puzzle pieces together for us. We understand that now, this is clear to us, now actually is a great time to list. And so we listed the property in December, and here's what happened, and I'm really thrilled for our clients. What ended up happening is the home got multiple offers on the day we put it on the market, and ultimately our client took an offer that was well over ask. It was an all-cash offer, so it was a very clean transaction. And again, this is just one example of many, but I hope that you found it to be an instructive one. And I think the moral of my story is that if you are in the market at any point in time, whether as a home buyer or home seller, remember there is no reason the process has to be overwhelming. It doesn't need to be. If you start with clarity, if you start with data, you'll end up feeling much less overwhelmed. And again, remember, it's really crucial in the world of real estate that you're getting the right advice. And at Cindy Rainey and team, we value above all else the client experience, and you, more than anything, you matter most to us. So I hope this video has been instructive. It's going to be one of many going forward. And again, if you just took one nugget from it that makes you feel like, all right, I learned something today, then I've done my job. I'll continue to work and continue to get better at this. I appreciate you listening, and I look forward to sharing many more of these with you down the road. Thanks again from Cindy Rainey and team. Wishing you guys a wonderful holiday. Happy New Year. God bless.